This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Adams suggests cops hand over high-risk suspects to JDF for detention. Retired Senior Superintendent of Police Renita Adams is suggesting that the Jamaica Constabulary Force consider housing high-risk criminals in its custody at Up Park Camp, the headquarters of the Jamaica Defensive Force. Adams said such a move should be considered to reduce the number of jailbreaks occurring, a problem plaguing the JCF. Since August last year, more than 10 criminals have escaped from lockup across the island. These include individuals who are facing murder and illegal possession of firearm charges. On Thursday, former St. Catherine Most Wanted man Rudolph Boxer Shaw reportedly escaped from the Kingston Central Police Station lockup in downtown Kingston. Shaw, who is facing 2 murder charges, was nabbed in the Cayman Islands in July and deported to Jamaica. Adams said that incidents like these are unacceptable. A prisoner is not supposed to escape custody from a cell. As far as I know, when a prisoner breaks out of a cell or escapes custody, the first indication would be that it is a matter of lack of proper supervision, he said. Adams, who spent more than 40 years in the JCF, contends that this issue was not so commonplace in his tenure. I don't remember during my administration in the police force if we have ever had a prisoner escaped from my custody. Maybe when one was sent to the medical doctor or to Bellevue, I won't guess on that, he said. His solution is to put soldiers in charge of supervising those in lockups and to install CCTV systems to monitor them. If I were the commissioner, I would recommend to the National Security Minister to keep people like these at Up Park Camp, he said. It would be desirable for a camera to be placed in that particular cell on a 24-hour basis and a monitor out front be monitored by an independent police officer. Attorney at law Peter Champagny, who was representing Shaw up to the time of his escape, told the news that he would no longer represent him if he is recaptured. I am obviously amazed that the police did not have the necessary security in place concerning his incarceration, given the fact that when he was apprehended the last occasion, it was in the Cayman Islands and he was brought back here, he said. Champagne is calling for a probe at the highest level to ascertain the conditions under which Shaw escaped. It is hard to imagine someone of their own initiative succeeding to escape. I am no security expert, and I also bear in mind that a part of the Kingston Central Police Station is exposed to one section of the roadway, and therefore I would have thought they would have had cameras at various points, he said. Something like this just can't happen. Something is wrong. Senior Superintendent of Police Stephanie Lindsay, head of the JCF's communications arm, told the news that high-profile criminals such as Shaw are kept under tight security while in custody. We have different levels of security at the jail for different kinds of persons, so Shaw would be placed in one of those high-security areas, she said. Lindsay said that the investigation into Shaw's escape is ongoing. When the Inspectorate and the Professional Standards Oversight Bureau of the JCF does the investigation, they look at a number of things. They look at whether the protocol in place was adhered to, whether or not persons were negligent in exercising their duty. They also investigate to determine whether or not there was any involvement of persons in the process, she said. Based on their findings, they'd make the recommendations. We have had persons dismissed, we have had persons charged criminally, persons reprimanded and fined. There are various things that happen. Court told Donnelly Donaldson police boyfriend argued over photo. Embattled Police Constable Noel Maitland, who was charged with murder and preventing the lawful burial of a corpse, reportedly told detectives that he and his presumed dead girlfriend Donnelly Donaldson had an argument at his Chelsea Manor apartment in New Kingston on July 12 before she went missing. Donaldson was reported missing on July 13 by her mother, and the cops theorized that she was killed on July 12 between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Relying heavily on circumstantial evidence, detectives charged Maitland in August. During a bail hearing on Tuesday in the Supreme Court, the prosecution said Maitland had indicated in a statement that he and Donaldson argued over a photograph of his child's mother, which he had in his apartment. Though there were no eyewitnesses to a murder and a body has not yet been found, the prosecution said the absence of a body does not prevent them from asserting that Donaldson is dead. "We are being mindful that we have not passed that threshold of a year and a day," the prosecutor said. "Based on the evidence, we believe that this is a strong circumstantial evidence case. While we can't prove motive, there is evidence not just from friends and family members of Ms. Donaldson, but the accused man has asserted that he was involved in an intimate relationship with Ms. Donaldson and another female with whom he has a child," the prosecutor added. According to the prosecutor, there is video evidence that coincides with accounts from Donaldson's mother, Sophia Logg. There is video evidence of the accused arriving at his Chelsea Manor apartment after midnight on the morning of July 12, 2022. At the time, he was driving his BMW motorcar, and a female is visible in the front passenger seat. This observation coincides with Ms. Logg's account that it was the accused man who picked up her daughter at the night of the 11th, and also coincides with the accused man's account given in his witness statement that he picked her up at her home and took her to his. Based on these accounts and the video footage viewed by the neighbor and the technician, the Crown is asking the court to accept that at this stage that it was Donnelly Donaldson who accompanied the accused man to his home and arrived there in the early morning of July 12, 2022. In court on Tuesday was Maitland's father and Sophia Logg, the mother of Donaldson. When the session was adjourned for lunch, Logg waited on Maitland to be handcuffed in the prisoner's dock by police, and as he was being led out of court, she followed his every move with her eyes. With tears welling in her eyes, she shook her head from left to right and told the woman who had accompanied her that she always treated him like her own son. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.